I'm KSHB 41 investigator Cameron Taylor. Over the next few weeks, we're looking back at a deadly train derailment that caught the attention of the nation. 4 people died and dozens of others were injured in Mendon. Now, I followed up with a farmer who brought up concerns about the crossing. He still thinks about that day, almost 1 year later.
It was so surreal just to see that, and walk up on it and know that this was going to make an imprint in our community, for many years to come.
We'll talk more with farmer Mike Spencer in just a minute, but let's give you some necessary background. Spencer was not the only one who spoke up. The Chariton County Commission also told the state and the owner of the track about the issues.
We feel like we made the contact with the people that we needed to let them know that there were problems.
The crossing is still on a statewide improvement list today. 3 days after the crash, I confronted Missouri's Department of Transportation director about why nothing was done beforehand.
We found out concerns about this crossing go back to at least 2019, and yet no changes have been made. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I can explain that by saying there's a $500 million bill and $7 million a year to fix it.
Since that day last June, there have not been safety improvements like lights and gates at that crossing. There is a solution here, but it's not one the farmer we spoke with likes. Mike Spencer remembers that phone call.
A train had derailed.
Almost a year later, he reflects at his farm.
It's hard to believe, yeah. It's time goes by pretty fast.
What's happened in all that time?
Well, not a lot. So we're going to come in here from the north side.
He's been down this road before. It's one of frustration. Around 58 trains per day go past this crossing at Porsche Prairie Avenue in Mendon. Most are freight, but 2 are passenger trains, according to U.S. Department of Transportation records. The max speed allowed, 90 miles per hour, less than a football field away from Spencer's soybean crop. When you saw that train come by just now, anything cross your mind?
Yeah, I'll be really careful.
June 27, 2022, an Amtrak passenger train on its way to Chicago derailed after hitting a dump truck. The driver of the truck and 3 passengers on board died. The crash sent around 150 people on board to the hospital.
I was the one that tried to prevent the accident. I'm not the one bringing a lawsuit against the railroad. I'm the one that tried to prevent the lawsuit from happening. I knew it was going to happen. If somebody was hit there, that it was going to happen, and it did.
Spencer first brought concerns about the crossing to the County Commission's attention at a December 2019 meeting. He raised several issues, including the steepness of the approach, the lack of lights and gates, and the brush. Spencer also alerted the Missouri Department of Transportation and BNSF, the owner of the track. Talks about safety before the crash never materialized into improvements.
It's disappointing that something had to happen that tragic to get the attention it needed.
This April, the County Commission held a meeting to talk about safety improvements at railroad crossings. Pictures from that meeting show Porsche Prairie as a proposed closed crossing. Do you think that's a good idea?
I would hate to see it closed. I don't think it's a good idea to close this crossing. I don't think that's the answer to it.
Spare train tracks stacked on top of each other now block the crossing. Reminders of the derailment are still here, like this door from the Amtrak train. Spencer says vehicles like his truck haven't been able to get through since before that day. It's created another set of issues.
Our other field is about 200 feet away, and we can't get there now, so to go around to get to the other side, it's now 6.5 miles, one way.
Not to mention, if there was a medical emergency, first responders would also have to drive around. Spencer hopes the crossing will eventually reopen. After all, it had been on a statewide improvement list. It's still on there as a project ready for funding, costing around $400,000. It would install lights and gates, along with making roadway improvements.
We expect everybody to work together, be it the railroad or the community, whoever it takes, MoDOT.
But Spencer's not confident about a path toward progress because of this frustrating road. He's been down before.
I'm not going to hold my breath waiting for this crossing to get repaired.
Would it surprise you if they just kept it closed indefinitely?
It would surprise me if they fixed it, I'll put it that way.
I checked in with MoDOT about the crossing. They say it's up to the railroad company, BNSF, and Sheraton County to agree on a plan. Once that happens, the agency works with them to finalize the plan, including how it would be paid for. Now, MoDOT would not agree to a possible interview until after the budget is signed by the governor. Now, if it's ultimately decided the crossing would remain closed, those improvements would never happen. I tried to get more information from the county's presiding commissioner, but he never responded to my nearly 24 text messages, emails, and phone calls over the last year. The only time he spoke with me was in the days right after the crash. As for BNSF, they also did not respond about the future of the crossing. For the KSHB 41i team, I'm Cameron Taylor.